A few years ago, I was sleeping in my car, staring at a cracked laptop screen, not just broke and hungry, but completely exhausted, and wondering if this dream of making enough to be happy was killing me. My account balance was an absolute joke. My last tank of gas almost gone, and yet I was about to click buy like my life depended on it. Because in my head, it did. Now, without any connections, I've made millions of dollars trading currencies. No degree and without any luck. This is the raw, unfiltered story of how I did it. The habits, the tools, and the mindset that turned everything around for me. And by the end of this video, you'll know the exact steps I took so you can start building your own path to financial freedom through Forex. I didn't grow up with money, okay? Just a reminder, I grew up in a place where dreams didn't pay bills at all. My dreams got laughed at. For years, I was just another small town kid clocking in and clocking out, waiting for more to just happen. But more never comes unless you hunt it. And one night in a parking lot, lit by a flickering streetlight, I decided to go looking. As weird as it sounds, it's true. And I genuinely believe this lesson could help someone out there that's struggling. Maybe you feel like that, tired of knowing that deep down that you've got more in you, just in general. But you're probably frustrated that no one has handed you the manual. There's no mentorship anywhere. I wasn't born with a silver spoon. Going right the back, I was sleeping in my car, dead broke, no backup plan, no safety net. I had goals, but no ability to attain them. And then that's where Forex first showed up in my life. A buddy I knew from high school said, "You ever heard of Forex?" Obviously I didn't. He explained, you trade currencies, you learn a skill, you build it, and then you can scale it. There's no boss, there's no cap, and it was the first time something made sense. I didn't have any startup capital, I didn't have any connections, but this was a skill set that I could learn just from a laptop with a little bit of time and a lot of hunger. So I said, screw it. I scraped together a few $100 from random side gigs and opened up a tiny account. When I logged in for the first time, I sat there thinking the same thing that maybe you're thinking right now. Just please let this be real. I clicked the buy button for the first time, and just like that, my journey started. Not with a win, not with money, but with the decision. The first trade didn't change my bank account, but it flipped a switch in my head. If you've ever felt boxed in, looked around at your life and thought, there has to be more than this, then just stay with me here. Because what happens next, that's the moment that everything turns. My first few years in Forex were absolutely awful. I'm not gonna lie. Not the just, I lost a little bit of money. I'm talking 5 years of getting absolutely wrecked. 5 years of starting over again and again and again. You ever put your last $200 into something and watch it snap, vanish in less than 7 days? That was me. I'd fund an account, blow it in a few days, feel sick to my stomach, then just do it all over again. No learning, and it wasn't because I was stupid, but because I was desperate. I wanted it so bad, I couldn't think straight. I had no plan, no system, just emotions and greed. I'd see a green candle and think this is the one. I was betting 10% of my whole account on one trade, just hoping for a miracle. And when it didn't work, I'd do what most people would do. Blame the strategy, jump to a new one before I'd even consider whether I was executing correctly on the strategy that I had committed to. Scalping one week, swing trading the next, then news trading. I was just chasing shortcut after shortcut instead of building the skills. And I know I'm not the only one who's done that. You've definitely been in that position too, right? Switching strategies every time it gets hard, telling yourself the system must be broken, but you're going to end up learning this the hard way. If you never stick to anything long enough to master it, you'll always stay a beginner. It wasn't just the charts that beat me, it was me, my fear, my own greed, the way I'd move my stop loss way too early or close a winning trade way too fast just because I got nervous. I wasn't trading the market, I was reacting to my emotions. And that's when I realized Forex isn't just about being right, it's about being disciplined when you are right. Once I started risking just 1% per trade, that's when everything changed. I could breathe, I could survive the bad days and still come back tomorrow. That simple rule, keep your risk small, was the beginning of everything good. And I know 1% sounds like nothing, but you need to learn the basics before you actually move up. But I won't lie to you, there were nights that I wanted to quit. Nights in my car where I stared at the roof and thought, maybe I'm not cut out for this. But then I'd remember why I started, because I wasn't going back, not to the broke kid with empty pockets, not to begging for hours or filling out job applications I didn't care about. I was gonna figure this out or just gonna die trying. If you're in the pit right now, you're losing trades and you're doubting yourself, wondering if you should just quit, I've lived there. I know what it's like to think the climb is impossible. But if you push through the hurt and you start playing this game the right way, what's waiting on the other side will rewrite your entire life. So let me pull back the curtain and show you exactly what flipped it for me, the moment. If you've ever worked enough at something, you'll know that one day it'll just click. That was me, 5 years deep in the losses, the stress and the doubt. Then finally, things started working. Not magic, not luck, luck, I just found my edge. And here's what that actually means. I stopped trying to be everything, no more chasing every single trade, no more switching the strategies like outfits. I picked one style that fit me and I completely mastered it. For me, it was swing trading, longer term setups. I wasn't glued to the screen all day anymore. I was trading with patience. I'd mark up the chart at night, place the trades if I liked it, set my stop loss, and then I'd just walk away. Win or lose, I just trusted my process. That alone changed everything because now I had time. I wasn't reacting to every tick. I was just living again. And my results, they started stacking up. 1 week green, then another, then a whole month. My strategy, it was simple. Order blocks, zones. Zones where the big banks made the moves. I learned to spot those moves on the chart where money had to be sitting. I'd wait for a price to come back to those zones, then I'd strike. Have a tight stop loss, a big reward, and then clear reasoning behind every single trade. And here's the thing, I didn't trade the sexy pairs. No Euro USD or GBP JPY like everyone else was. I went where there were fewer people were looking at it. More exotic, the USD ZAR, the USD Mexican. Those are more volatile, for sure, but I learned their rhythm. A little less noise, less competition. There was more opportunity. I found consistency in that chaos. And slowly, finally, I stopped bleeding money. I was actually growing it. So I even traded a penny lot for an entire year. I only had $100 in the account, but it was my first year that was profitable. I ended up making $84. I know it doesn't seem like a lot of money for an entire year, but it made me realize that was 84% in an entire year. But it wasn't just the trades that changed. It was my headspace. I stopped revenge trading, stopped forcing setups. I stopped treating every trade like it was life or death. I started treating it like it was a business, like data. The wins, they were cool. The losses, part of the job. But the discipline, that was everything. And then compounding kicked in. Small profits reinvested, accounts get bigger. I started moving from micro lots to standard lots. Then I blink and I'm placing 100 lot trades with full confidence. And one day, I log into my account and I see it at $1 million. $1 million in profit from Forex. I didn't scream, I didn't buy a Lambo, I just stared because I remembered being that kid, sleeping in the car, trading on McDonald's Wi-Fi. This wasn't luck, this was an absolute obsession. This was years of losses, blown accounts, and quiet nights that no one saw. It was proof that discipline, not drama, is what changes your life. And that moment was everything. Not because of the money, because I had built something that no one could take away from me. A skill, a system, a life on my terms. So if you're in year one right now, blowing accounts and thinking you'll never get there, I promise you can. You just haven't found your edge yet. But when you do, it's not just the market that changes, it's you that changes. If I had to boil everything down, every account blown, every sleepless night, it comes down to 4 habits. 4 essential pillars that turned a broke kid like me with just a dream into a trader with a system. Pillar 1, unshakable persistence. I didn't win because I was the smartest. I won because I stayed in the game. Every time I blew an account, I learned and I came back. My reason was my family, my future, my freedom. It kept me grounded when everything else felt chaotic. Maybe you've already failed a few times. Maybe you're doubting yourself. You can do this if you just keep going. Write down why you're trading. Put it where you'll see it every day, especially when it gets hard. Pillar 2, risk management. You don't have to hit big wins to succeed. You just have to avoid blowing up. Early on, I risked 10% of my account per trade. Now, I risk 1 to 3%, sometimes even less. That's how I stayed in long enough to get good. Before every trade, decide how much you're willing to lose. So you set your stop loss and then you just take a step away. Pillar 3, master one strategy. Most traders fail not because their strategy is bad, but because they never stick to one long enough to actually master it. When I committed to swing trading with order blocks and everything changed, I stopped chasing and I became precise. Pick a style, stick with it for 6 months, track your results, and then live it. And then pillar 4, consistency. You don't need to trade all day, but you do need a routine. I review charts every morning and I journal my trades, even when I didn't feel like it. Set a schedule that you can actually stick to, even if it's just 30 minutes a day. These 4 things, persistence, risk control, focus, and consistency, aren't flashy, but they work. They took me from sleeping in my car to becoming a profitable trader. You don't need a perfect start, a mentor, or thousands in your account. You just need hunger, honesty, and the decision that you're not quitting. I built this from the ground up, and you can too. So, if this spoke to you, if you felt even a piece of your own story in mind, then don't just watch this video, apply it, replay it, and let this be the moment your story starts to change. Because if I can do it, you can too. My journey to $1 million was messy. Mistakes, losses, blown accounts, but every mistake taught me something, and sometimes learning what not to do is the key to figuring out what works. So don't run from failure, use it, stay consistent, stick to your style. There's a million ways to make $1 million in this game. You just need one that fits you. Thank you for watching. I hope this gave you some value, maybe even that push to keep going, because big wins, they start small. Mine started with a $100 account and just a whole lot of drive. If this video helped you out, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Love y'all.